Tennessee had 3 players drafted over the weekend. 8 more are getting opportunities in the National Football League, and why this only means good things. This is only going to help Josh Heupel and the Tennessee football program. That and more to Monday, Locked On Vols.
You are Locked On Vols, your daily podcast on the Tennessee Volunteers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Locked On Vols. It is a new week. It is a Monday morning. Appreciate you guys for being here, making Locked On Vols your first listen each and every day. I am your host, Eric Kane, and I'm proud to be here, and I'm happy to be here with you guys. A big shout out to our friends over at Monopoly Go. It's the mobile hit twist on classic Monopoly, where you can join your friends and download Monopoly Go today. It's free in the App Store and Google Play. We got a lot to get into today. Jaylen Wright to Miami. Joe Milton to New England. Kamal Hadden to Kansas City. 8 other Vols signed undrafted free agent deals, and how all this helps Tennessee. Plus a baseball recap from a weekend sweep over the Missouri Tigers. All that and more coming up here on your Monday Locked On Vols. You can watch us, listen to us, follow us, subscribe to us, download us, all for free wherever you get your podcast. It is weekday mornings, 30 minutes or less, right here on the Locked On Vols YouTube channel, and of course, wherever you get your podcast. Don't forget, Twitter Tuesday's coming up tomorrow, so any questions, any comments, any concerns on Tennessee football, recruiting, basketball, baseball, whatever the case may be, if you have a question for me specifically, send those in at _Kaner and at Locked On Vols. Okay, so let's get into it. We don't cover necessarily the NFL draft, and honestly, been kind of suggested that we shouldn't, and I recognize that because the numbers don't reflect that, but I do want to kind of break down just a little bit on where Tennessee's players have gone and what this means for Tennessee. Not really what this means for the Miami Dolphins or the New England Patriots, but what this means really for Tennessee. Jaylen Wright, and he's my guy. We've been talking about him all throughout this draft process, and Mel Kiper Jr., that was his guy, and a little surprising, not that he was selected necessarily in the 4th round. I think it was late. But I think the biggest surprise is he was the 5th running back taken. The 5th running back taken. You had the kid from Texas, of course, Corum from Michigan. You had Marshawn Lloyd, who was the 4th running back taken. And then it was Jaylen Wright. That shocked me. Absolutely shocked me. I thought he would be the 2nd or 3rd running back selected, but he was the 5th, and he's going to use that as motivation. He already tweeted out shortly after he drafted. He said, y'all done messed up, and rooting for him, man, going to, quote-unquote, the fastest team in the National Football League. Got the cheat out there on the perimeter wide receiver, and you're putting Jaylen Wright, who can run at 22.5 miles per hour back there in the backfield. So really excited for him to go into that Josh McDaniel offense, and they're going to, try to figure out a way to make it work for him and utilize his skill set, and I think that's going to be really, really cool. So looking forward to seeing what he can do down there in South Beach. He was taken in the 4th round, pick number 120 overall, and he goes to the Dolphins. Overall in his career, or at least his junior season, remember he was 3 and done, 137 carries for 1,013 yards, 4 rushing touchdowns, averaging 7.4 yards per carry. All 4 of those rushing touchdowns came from 50 yards or more, which is pretty incredible. Became the 19th Tennessee running back to go over 1,000 yards in a season, and did it in fewer carries than any other back before him. Earlier in the week, let's remind you guys, and we talked about it here on the show, ESPN had him as the number 48 overall prospect, the 48th overall prospect heading into the NFL draft. So I think it's safe to assume and safe to kind of come to an agreement here that he slid a little bit, but I think he's in a really, really good situation down there, and I butchered the guy's name. It's McDaniel. It's not Josh McDaniels, or whatever the guy's name is. I see him in my face. He's the head coach of the Miami Dolphins. He's a weirdo, but boy, does he know offense. And he came from that coaching tree where he spent time in Washington and so on and so forth with that iconic, was it 2011 and 2012 Washington, at the time, Redskins coaching staff with Sean McVay and some of those other guys. Anyway, I'm blanking on his name, but you guys know who I'm talking about. I cover Tennessee football, not the Miami Dolphins. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Jaylen Wright can do. What this does for Tennessee, well, how many times do we talk to recruits, or do we hear recruits say or whatever? It's like, oh, I thought Tennessee was a running gun. I thought Tennessee was a air raid. I thought Tennessee just threw it all over the place. I mean, that can be further from the truth. But again, what are we trying to appeal to? We're trying to appeal to these recruits that can come and play at Tennessee. So if they're not watching every single Tennessee game or on the internet and looking up at the stats like we are every single day, because it's my job and you're a diehard, they might not know how incredibly balanced Tennessee's offense is and how incredibly poignant is the run game for Josh Heupel's offense. He says it all the time. Since he's been here, Tennessee's run game has averaged over 200 yards a carry, 200 yards a game. 200 yards a carry would be impossible. 200 yards a game on the ground. And so obviously the run game is very, very important. But to the casual 15, 16, 17-year-old prospect that Tennessee's trying to recruit, they might not know that. But they do see Jaylen Wright after 3 years go and get drafted in the mid-rounds of the NFL draft. Was it a first-round pick? No. Was it an undrafted free agent who was going to get a shot in camp? No. He got drafted after 3 seasons of development under Josh Heupel and his staff. If I'm a young running back, I'm saying, okay, this staff can get me to the league. This staff can get me to the league in 3 years. Okay, I like that. I like that a lot. So that's my biggest takeaway from Jaylen Wright. Wish him all the success. Joe Milton, 6th round, pick number 193 to the Patriots. VFL calling a VFL. Gerard Mayo, obviously the new head coach of the New England Patriots, drafting Joe Milton, quarterback out of Tennessee. And I found this interesting, obviously, because New England drafted Drake May in the top 5 there in the first round. So I don't think anybody expects Joe Milton to go in there and compete for a starting job. Excuse me. I'll be intrigued to see if Joe Milton is that third quarterback on the roster. What are they going to do with Zappe? Will they probably release him? I think that would make a whole lot of sense. And also there's some jokes going around. And I mean, I can see it. I don't think you waste a draft pick solely on this. But Joe Milton, scout team quarterback, replicating Josh Allen for the New England Patriots defense. Oh yeah, they're going to get a whole lot better. But I mean, it's a flyer essentially, and that's kind of what it went down to. And I thought that somebody might, jump up and take a shot on him there just because of all his intangibles, maybe in the 4th or the 5th round. But as we got closer to the draft, I think it became apparent that he was going to be 6th to 7th round, or even undrafted. But VFL drafting a VFL for Joe Milton, it's a lot of sit back, watch, learn, hang on. And then compete. Go out there and compete, and we'll see what happens. But obviously, judging by the New England Patriots draft philosophy in the first round, Drake May is going to be their future there. But Joe Milton's going to get a chance to compete. And who knows? Maybe Joe Milton goes in there and lights the world on fire and they trade him away. I mean, wouldn't that be great in preseason? So teams are always looking for quarterbacks after a couple injuries in training camp. So Joe Milton getting an opportunity, first and foremost, with the New England Patriots. And then Kamal Hadden goes 6th round, same round, 6th round, pick number 211th overall to the Kansas City Chiefs. The last 6th round pick from Tennessee to go to the Kansas City Chiefs, it worked out pretty well in Trey Smith. I don't think Kamal Hadden's going to burst on the scene and be an all-rookie player like Trey Smith was, and an all-Pro Bowler and an all-NFL caliber guy in his second year. But good for Kamal. He goes to a really, really good situation. And again, he was playing arguably better than any defensive back in the nation at the time of his injury. It's really a shame that his senior season got cut short because he was playing so well. And if not for that injury, I think he would have been a closer to a mid-round pick. I truly do. But he's going into a really, really good situation. So I'm looking at it. I'm seeing a running back being taken in the 4th round after 3 years. If I'm a young prospect, if I'm a 4 or 5 star running back prospect and Tennessee's after me, I'm going to be like, oh, they must be doing something right. They must be running the football because that guy Jaylen Wright got drafted after 3 years. Okay, let me give Tennessee a closer look. If I'm a quarterback, obviously, you got Jake Merklinger here, Nico's here. You got George McIntyre on the way. I mean, Tennessee's evaluating guys for the class of 2026 and 2027. I'm sitting here, I'm looking, back-to-back drafts. Tennessee's had a quarterback gone. So this guy that wasn't even starting for multiple years still got drafted into the National Football League, and being Joe Milton, we'll look at Hendon Hooker's resume, all this, so on and so forth. If I'm a quarterback, why wouldn't I want to go play for Josh Heupel and Joey Halsley? Okay, let me give Tennessee a little bit of a closer look. And then Kamal Hadden, knowing his developments, and knowing even though he got hurt and missed over half the season, he still got drafted. If I'm a defensive back, if I'm a cornerback, maybe I'm giving Tennessee a closer look right now. I mean, as Tony Vitello said it, and I'll mention it later again in the podcast, but Tony Vitello said it Saturday after the game and said, hey, when you're winning, people are paying attention to you more. You're getting posted on Twitter more. You get more per diem. Don't know if I'm supposed to say that. So on and so forth. When you win, you put yourself in situations to be drafted and to be exposed. And that's kind of where Tennessee is. More on that with 8 undrafted free agents that are going to be getting an opportunity. That is coming up next as we continue on here with this Monday edition of Locked On Vols. Stick around, guys. You don't want to go anywhere. All right, guys. Game off. We got to pause here to talk more about Monopoly Go. I know what you're saying, flag on the play. You already talked about that, but there's just so much good stuff in the game. Yes, flag on the play, yes. The Monopoly Go, you can team up with your friends for time tournaments where you can work together and build each other's boards. The more you win together, the more awesome prizes you can unlock. And there's so much to get. You can get unique stickers. You can trade with friends to complete albums for big prizes. Cool new playing pieces to travel boards with, hilarious emojis for taunting friends when you smash their buildings and heist their vaults. Plus, Monopoly Go, it feels new and exciting every day with constantly changing tournaments and challenges. A ton included their own unique mini games like digging for treasures or robot pachinko machine. And there's always new timed events that help you win big, like massive multiplayers for everything you win or rent frenzies. There's always something fun to discover on Monopoly Go, so get off the bench, go and download it for free today. Again, it's free on Google Play and the App Store. Monopoly Pro, game on. Welcome back in here to your Monday edition of Locked On Vols. Can't thank you enough for being here. Don't forget Twitter Tuesday. That is coming up on tomorrow's show. Any questions you guys have on Tennessee football, basketball? Tennessee basketball continues to be in a really, really good spot. Already 2 guys who have committed to the Volunteers via the transfer portal. One, in my opinion, is just about to cross the finish line. And then we'll see about Chaz Lanier and some others. But Tennessee baseball as well, Tennessee recruiting, all that and more. You guys know the handle. It's @_Canner and at Locked On Balls. So Tennessee had 3 players drafted. Tennessee has 8 players who have signed undrafted free agent deals. Now, a lot of questions have been asked, well, how much does an undrafted free agent guy make and all this, all this type of stuff? Well, it varies consistently. It varies on what stage you're at. I don't have the list in front of me, but keep in mind, you sign an undrafted free agent deal, you're invited to rookie minicamp. You're invited to camp, rookie minicamp, to get some eyes on you guys, but also so you kind of know what we're going to be doing in camp, because a lot of you guys are going to be, practice dummies, essentially. And then you're in camp. You're in training camp. And if you make it that long, you're in training camp. And if you make it through the rounds of cuts, then maybe you can make the team. It's an opportunity. And as I was talking about in the other segment, say you go and you ball out in some of these rookie mini camps and OTAs and then training camps, but you don't make that team. Well, they cut you. Other teams will pick you up. They cut you, they put you on your practice squad. If you're on the practice squad, one of 15 players, you'll be going up and down like AAA to the big to the show. And say you're a linebacker, a tight end, or a running back or something, and you're on practice squad, you're playing every special teams if you get called up. And so I think it's a really, really good opportunity. So who were these 8 players who have agreed to undrafted free agent deals with National Football League teams? Well, McCallum Castles, who we thought would be the first one for sure, he is headed to Philadelphia. Jacob Warren is heading to the Las Vegas Raiders. Actually, I believe that's the New England Patriots. Jacob Warren is going to the New England Patriots. So Tennessee's 2 tight ends getting opportunities. And I'm intrigued to see what McCallum Castles can do, because I think that his game kind of replicates to that of the National Football League right now, and kind of what he can do in his skill set, becoming well-rounded and equipped to playing at that level. That's why he wanted to come to Tennessee, and that's why he did, and he played really, really well. So Castles to the Eagles, Warren to the Patriots, Ramel Keaton to the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm intrigued about him, and he just seems like a Raiders dude almost, right? Just so nonchalant, going to go to work, lunch pail bucket type guy, okay? And I'm intrigued to see what he does in OTAs, because, again, when he's playing with confidence, man, he's a really good player. He just lacked that at times, especially in 2023 this past year, 2020, Yeah, 3 this past season. When he's playing with confidence, he's a really, really good player. Aaron Beasley gets an opportunity with the Seattle Seahawks. That one kind of surprised me a little bit. Not that he's not deserving, because he clearly is. But as we know, Aaron Beasley's a bit of a tweener in terms of position-wise. That's why it took him like 3 years to figure out where he was going to play here at Tennessee. He also played much of this past season injured. And so I didn't know if maybe he would even get a look. But again, getting a look, Seattle Seahawks. Gabe Jeudy-Lally staying in the state, going to the Tennessee Titans, getting an opportunity there. And of course, very familiar with the city of Nashville is Gabe Jeudy-Lally. He attended Vanderbilt for 3 years, went to BYU, and then finished up here at Tennessee. Jeremiah Crawford is probably the most surprising one that I saw the other day. Jeremiah Crawford getting an undrafted free agent agreement done with the Carolina Panthers. This one's intriguing because I always thought Jeremiah Crawford was underrated and didn't get the benefit of the doubt here at Tennessee. He played a lot of big snaps. And he played left tackle and right tackle in a lot of big games. But it seemed like every single year they were trying to get Gerald Mincey to play over him, and bringing guys in over him and trying to regulate him to the bench. I mean, sure, I'll see him in practice a little bit, but I remember being over there and seeing him at the pro day, and not the fleetest of foot, not super coordinated, not super athletic. Offensive lineman. It's not like you're trying to, be Usain Bolt out there, but I remember at pro day thinking, Jeremiah Crawford lands anywhere, I'll be surprised. He did. Carolina, good for him. He gets an opportunity. That's all you can ask for. It's just to get an opportunity, and that's what Jeremiah Crawford is going to get with the Panthers. Jalen McCullough, this doesn't shock me at all because I'm sure he knocked the meetings out of the park when he met with these teams. He's athletic enough. He's fast enough. He's good enough to get a look, and that's what he's going to get with the Los Angeles Rams, and I'm happy for him. Just a really, really good guy to cover for 5 years here at Tennessee. He's a good kid, comes from a good family, and I'm really, really happy that he's getting this opportunity. So I'm intrigued to see what he can make of it with the LA Rams. And then D. Williams, another guy that we talked about that I said on last week's show, maybe a late round flyer because how they're changing the kickoffs and how they're putting an emphasis on putting kickoff and kickoff return back in the game. And I thought maybe somebody might take a shot on D. Williams. Well, knew for a fact he would sign and agree with an undrafted free agent deal, and that's what he's doing here with the Seattle Seahawks. So I'm intrigued to see if he can stick. And if he's not sticking, surely somebody will get him on their practice squad because, again, it's an emphasis. It is an emphasis on the return game. I will say this, though. He's not as good at kick return as he is in punt return. He's a great punt returner, not a very good kick returner, so maybe he can kind of help elevate that a little bit. So, again, you have 3 guys drafted. McCastles, Warren getting opportunities with the Eagles and the Patriots. Keaton, Beasley getting opportunities with the Raiders and the Seahawks. Jeudy-Lally, Crawford, opportunities with the Titans and the Panthers. McCullough and D. Williams, opportunities with the Rams and the Seahawks. How does this help Tennessee? Well, if you go to Tennessee, you stay, you get developed, you put some stuff on tape, at bare minimum, this is showing you. Not everybody's going to get a look, but at bare minimum, this is showing you that for the most part, if you're a standout, you're going to have an opportunity. You are going to have an opportunity. It doesn't matter how it works out, you get a chance. And a lot of these guys, that's all you can ask for. You get a chance. And now you go back and look, Tennessee has had, under Josh Heupel, Tennessee has had 5 players drafted in 2022. Tennessee has had 5 players drafted in 2023. Tennessee has 3 players drafted in 2024 and 8 undrafted free agent guys who have agreed to deals. It's all about a chance. Let's go through each position by position during the Josh Heupel era and determine if every position has been drafted so far. Quarterback, easy. It's been drafted. Running back's now been drafted. Tight end has not been drafted. Tight end has gotten a lot of undrafted free agent deals, but tight end has not been drafted. Wide receiver has been drafted. Offensive lineman has definitely been drafted. So offense, you're in good shape. Defensive line, definitely been drafted. Hello, Byron Young. Linebacker's not been drafted, but it's coming. Because I promise you, Arian Carter and or Jeremiah Thielander and or years down the line, Edwin Spillman, that group of linebackers is coming. one of those guys will be drafted here in the next few years. So linebackers, not yet. Secondary. Safety. Technically, Theo Jackson was drafted, right? Yeah, he was drafted. He was drafted by the Titans in the 6th round. So safety has been drafted, check. Cornerback, Kamal Hadden, of course, Alontae Taylor, check. So Tennessee, under Josh Heupel, and I recognize Jeremy Pruitt's regime, even Butch Jones's regime kind of recruited and brought a lot of these guys to Tennessee, but it's about the development. If I'm a prospect and I'm looking at the NFL draft success at Tennessee, I'm blown away, okay? Can it be better? Absolutely. But these guys are bringing me in, they're winning games, and they're getting me to the league, or at least giving me an opportunity to get to the league. And that is what Josh Heupel has done here at Tennessee in regards to the NFL draft. Again, all you want is a chance. Get drafted or a chance to go lock on, and there's a big old group from Tennessee. In fact, I even saw some reports as early as late as Sunday morning, and I only saw it from one source, so I'm not sure if it's for sure or not. I haven't reached out to him yet, but I saw something about Jabari Small maybe getting a camp invite with the Titans. So maybe it's 9 VFLs. We'll see. But of course, best of luck to all these guys. Really intrigued to see what they do with their opportunities. Okay, when we come back, we're going to take a look at the baseball weekend for the University of Tennessee baseball team. It was the 4th series sweep of the season, the 2nd in SEC play, and the 6th series win in a row for the University of Tennessee. That is coming up next. We talk about Tennessee sweep over Missouri. All that and more is coming up next as we continue on with Locked On Vols. It is playoff time in the NBA, in the NHL, and in baseball is in full swing. And FanDuel is your place to bet on every single game. Right now, new customers can get $150 in bonus bets, guaranteed. That is $150 win or lose. Bet on everything from slap shots to home runs to slam dunks, all on the safe, secure, and easy-to-use app. What are you waiting on? Go visit FanDuel.com/loggedon to make your first bet an automatic win. FanDuel, it is America's #1 sports book, and I want to tell you about our friends over at Game Time. Game Time is a place to buy tickets for the procrastinator. Maybe that's you. I know it's me, but it can be the procrastinator in your life. If you go and download the Game Time app and you put in the promo code Locked On College, you're going to get $20 off your first purchase. That is Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase. What is the Game Time app? Well, it's a place you can go and find last-minute deals. You can save up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, all that in your area. Flash deals. You can save even more with the exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or the event. Even more, you can choose the section and let Game Time choose those seats. Plus, this toggling feature shows the upfront total with no surprise fees at checkout. And they got the lowest price guarantee, which Game Time is going to credit you 110% of the difference. If you find a cheaper ticket in the same section than that you can find on Game Time. All that and more is over on the Game Time app. Create the account, put in the promo code Locked On College for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. More to come as we continue on with a Monday Locked On Vols. Tennessee baseball continues to roll another series sweep, and Tennessee is now, I don't even know. Let's see here. I think they're like 35-7 on the season now. They're 15-7 in Southeastern Conference play. Let's see here. Tennessee Volunteers coming off the weekend. Tennessee is 37-7 and 15-6 in Southeastern Conference play. And don't look now, making some serious momentum, taking up some ground on Kentucky, who currently leads the East, the SEC East in those standings. But nonetheless, it was another sweep for Tennessee. But this one wasn't your typical Tennessee's just going to blow everybody out and cruise to a sweep. Tennessee had to work for this one. Now, it was the Thursday, Friday, Saturday matchup. So now in the Thursday matchup, it was a lot of the same of what we've been used to seeing. It was 10-1. Tennessee scored 10 runs, all off the home run ball. Tennessee blasted 6 home runs. It was the 17th time this season that Tennessee has hit 4 or more home runs. It tied the season high for 6 home runs in a game. And you had 2 from Billy Amick. You had 1 from Christian Moore that led off the bottom of the first inning. You had 1 from Kavaris Tears. You had one from Cannon Peebles. You had 1 from Hunter Inslee. You had 1 from Cal Stark. it was a really, really good showing for Tennessee on Thursday night. And it was a really good effort as well. Another strong start. Well, open, if you will, from Chris Stamos. And then A.J. Causey comes in, and he goes 6 innings, pitching 90 pitches, allowing 1 run, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. A.J. Causey continues to look like his old self, and he was the team MVP for the first part of the season. He was. And then he went through a really, really rough patch. They put him back in the bullpen, and this new look has given him some confidence. And I wouldn't touch it, man. I mean, he is pitching lights out right now. I would not touch it. I would keep him doing the same that he's always been doing. But it was easy going for Tennessee. They scored 10 runs off 10 hits in game 1 of the series to win 10-1. Now, Friday and Saturday, completely different stories. Both of those games had final scores of 3-2. Tennessee won back-to-back games in 1-run fashion. First time all year, Tennessee has gone back-to-back games without hitting a home run as well, which I found that pretty interesting because, of course, we know Tennessee's leading the nation in home runs, and it came into the weekend with a pretty hefty margin. On Saturday, Drew Beam was really, really good. 8 strikeouts, 1 walk, 6 hits, 7 innings, and a third. He allowed 2 late runs. He was on pace to, shut him out. He was that good. He allowed a 2-run home run in the 8th inning, and that was his last inning of work before being taken out of the ball game. This is the 9th time in 11 starts that Drew Beam has worked through 5 innings. This is the 4th straight start that he's worked through 6 innings. He's just looked really good. And again, just like A.J. Causey, Drew Beam went through a little bit of a rough patch as well. And then last week, he wasn't even his best at Kentucky, but he was really good against Missouri. And hats off to Drew Beam for getting it done. Kirby Cannell comes in, and then it was Aaron Combs that kind of finished things off the final inning and 2/3. But in that game, it was an RBI single from Hunter Ensley. Cal Stark had an RBI double, and then somebody else scored on a wild pitch. Tennessee found a way to win in game number 2 of the series. And then fast forward here to game number 3 on Saturday, a lot of the same. Missouri's base running, however, was so bad in this game. Really, it was bad all weekend long. Missouri's base running was, how do I put this lightly? I've seen a lot of bad base running on these Tennessee teams the last couple of years. Not really this year, but in 22, 23, a little bit of 21. Missouri's display of base running this weekend was about the poorest I've ever seen at this level in my life. It was so bad. Countless plays at the plate, running into outs. Cal Stark had a bases loaded pickoff at first base to end a threat on Friday. There was a play at the plate whenever it was a ball that was hit up the middle, and Dean Curley dove and stopped it from going in the outfield. The guy going from second rounded third and just kept on going. And, I mean, Curley threw it home, and there was about 12 seconds. You go make a pot of coffee and come back, and you tag the runner out. He was that far out. Defense was really good for Tennessee this weekend. Base running for Missouri was so bad, and the bullpen was exceptional for Tennessee in this game on Saturday. There was a point in time where Tennessee was retired 14 times in a row at the plate. You went from second inning you had a base runner, and then the next base runner wasn't until the 7th inning. I mean, there was a stretch in this game where nothing was going on for Tennessee. Only 2 players had multi-hit days, Kavaris Tears and Christian Moore in game 3. But the bullpen was incredible. You had Xander Sechrest, who went 4 innings, 4+ innings, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks. The walks almost came back to bite him. Gave up 2 runs. Nate Snead comes on. He pitches an inning and 2/3. It wasn't his best effort. He got hit around a little bit, but he got his job. He got Sechrest. Allowed a couple of runs to score, but if not for a strong throw from Christian Moore, no runs would have scored in that ball game. But nonetheless, Nate Snead comes in, does his job. Aaron Combs comes in, pitches an inning and a third, does his job. Kirby Cannell comes in and pitches the last 2 innings of the game. 6-out save, his 3rd save of the season. So those 3 guys combined to go 4 innings, or the last 5 innings, 5 innings, and they didn't allow any runs. They did a really, really good job. So on a day where the bats were silent, the home runs weren't sailing, starting pitching with Xander was okay. The bullpen was dynamite. The night shift was incredible between Nate Snead, Aaron Combs, Kirby Cannell. Kirby's a dude, we know that. Aaron Combs is pitching out of his mind right now. Nate Snead is Nate Snead. Marcus Phillips you feel better with. Andrew Binke you feel better with. AJ Causey, of course, you feel good with. I mean, this bullpen is starting to become deeper and better. And that's a good thing for Tennessee. So it wasn't picture perfect, but good teams find ways to win in different ways. And Tennessee's been doing that a lot here lately. On Friday, it was the home run ball. On Saturday, it was the defense. On Sunday, it was the bullpen. Hats off to Tennessee again. Now 37-7 on the season, 15-6 in conference play, and we'll be heading down to Florida this weekend for another Thursday, Friday, Saturday matchup. Looking forward to that. I will be down there and, of course, coming back against Vanderbilt the following weekend. Hey, guys, appreciate you guys for being here, making Locked On Vols your first listen, your first watch each and every day. Can't thank you enough for making Locked On Vols a part of your morning routine. Don't forget your Twitter Tuesday questions, any comments, concerns, questions on Tennessee recruiting, football, basketball, baseball, whatever that is, at _Caner and at Locked On Vols. I'd be happy to spend a couple segments on the show tomorrow answering your questions. Can't thank you enough, guys. Appreciate you for being here. Have a great rest of your Monday. This is Locked On Vols.